No one should be able to lose a battle and win everything else. A failure shouldn't redraw the way an entire country protects itself. Alex Moreno, an LAPD investigator, slowly folds up a bulletproof vest shredded by impacts. He thought he knew botched robberies. Then he came across this file, and something doesn't add up. Alex has been given a seemingly simple task: select robberies that went wrong for an internal training. He opens the box labeled North Hollywood, expecting just another spectacular shootout. Photos, reports, ballistic diagrams. Everything screams chaos. But in the middle of the pages, one detail, repeated, stubborn, catches his eye. A word scribbled several times in the margins. Predictable. The word hangs there. What haunts Alex is not the violence of that morning of February 28, 1997. It's the feeling that everyone, that day, was moving one step behind. On the first pages, he sees two figures he knows by heart: Larry Phillips Jr. and Emil Mătăsăreanu. Robbers already identified, already arrested, already armed like soldiers. They had been stockpiling assault rifles, reinforced vests, radios. They moved through a city where the rate of armed robberies was exploding, where long gun shootouts already existed. And yet, the Bank of America targeted that morning was protected, as if nothing unusual was going on. Alex sets his pen down on the report. A simple, almost naive question spins in his head. How could a robbery so heavily prepared still go wrong that badly for everyone involved? The criminals, the police, the entire city. He starts with the reassuring explanation. Hypothesis A. It's a classic robbery gone bad. Two already known guys. An urban neighborhood with its businesses, its heavy traffic, a branch of a major bank that keeps a lot of cash. They choose a bank known for its cash. A weekday morning when the vaults are stocked. They arrive armed, protected, fast, just as they've done elsewhere. The plan holds together. Go in, dominate the room, grab the money, leave before the LAPD can organize. The failure would just be a matter of bad luck. Witnesses too quick to dial 911. Patrol cars already in the area. A reaction time shorter than expected. An almost mundane scenario. Robbery, police response, exchange of fire, escalation, tragic outcome. Everything would just be an uncontrolled spiral. This hypothesis shatters at once when Alex reads the detail of the material preparations. This wasn't a classic robbery. It was an operation designed to withstand a 40-minute war. He shifts to another lead. Hypothesis B. The failure isn't an accident. It's the logical continuation of their method. Larry Phillips and Emil Mătăsăreanu didn't just steal. They were building a system. Years earlier, they were already intercepted with weapons, ammunition, vests, radios, equipment tailored for military-style robberies. They got out, started again, hit banks in several states. Always the same pattern: heavy armament, stacked vests, meticulous planning, brief exposure time. The more the police adapted, the more they scaled up. Armor-piercing rounds capable of going through soft patrol vests, extended magazines, layers of Kevlar and metal plates. When they set their sights on North Hollywood, everything is consistent with what Alex sees in the file. They expect a response. They count on it. The vehicle is ready. The escape route seems studied. The radios give them an ear on communications. What goes wrong would not be the robbery, but the police response. Officers equipped with basic service pistols, a few shotguns, facing two men covered in steel plates. In this hypothesis, everything flips. The imbalance is not against the criminals, but against the police. The robbery is not deficient. It's LAPD's procedures and armament that are naked in the middle of the street. Alex catches himself. What he thought was a criminal failure looks like a technical demonstration. Then another, more disturbing idea forces itself on him. Hypothesis C. It's neither an accident nor a simple criminal spiral. What goes wrong is not the shootout. It's everything that follows. The robbery becomes a national showcase of what two heavily armed men can impose on a major city. And the main response, for years afterward, will not be to reduce access to weapons, but to raise police firepower to the same level. Alex closes the report for a moment. In this scenario, the robbers lose, but their logic wins. At this stage of his rereading, Alex does something he always puts off as long as possible. He visualizes the scene. He has before him the topographic surveys, the firing angles, the facade photos. What he doesn't have, he reconstructs from witness statements. North Hollywood, that morning, is not a movie set. It's a working neighborhood in the San Fernando Valley. Arteries spewing traffic, especially on Laurel Canyon Boulevard. Parking lots, shops, people in a hurry. And in the middle of all that, this Bank of America branch on a street corner. An unremarkable building caught in the urban flow. When Larry and Emil arrive in their white Chevrolet, Alex sees the gestures more than the images. Dark clothing, gloves, masks. They get out of the vehicle already in combat gear, leaving no ambiguity. The assault rifles leave no room for doubt. The passers-by understand it immediately. The first 911 calls go out even before the official start of the robbery. That's where Alex hits the wall. The wall isn't the weaponry, not the violence, not even the duration of the shootout. It's the gap. In the radio recordings, the same thing keeps coming up. LAPD units are dispatched for a robbery in progress. Robbery in progress. What they find in front of them is not a robbery in the sense they had understood it until then. They find two men who have turned a neighborhood bank into the starting point of a shooting range. The first officers who position themselves near the branch hide behind their cars, draw their pistols. Some grab the shotguns from their trunks. That's what they have. Alex looks at the equipment column in the internal reports. 9mm Beretta, soft vests. Then he looks at the list seized in the robber's vehicle. AK, AR-15, oversized magazines, ammunition capable of piercing basic protection. Heavy vests, layers of Kevlar, metal plates covering chest, back, sometimes limbs. The only real reason everything seizes up, Alex sees it there. It's not a lack of courage, nor a numbers problem. It's a physical disproportion. Pistol rounds flattening against rigid plates. Shotgun impacts fraying out on Kevlar. And in return, bursts that rip through car doors, windshields, the thin walls of the surrounding businesses. He reads the descriptions of the injuries. 9 officers, 3 civilians. Many hit by shrapnel, fragments, ricochets. Patrol vehicles shredded, store windows blown out, facades riddled. It's not just that they're tactically outmatched, they are physically below the threshold needed to stop 2 men. Alex finds the frustration in a concrete, almost banal detail. Several times, officers empty their magazines into one of the robbers and simply see him keep advancing. The radio screams with calls for reinforcements, for more powerful weapons. At one point, supervisors send colleagues into a nearby gun store. They walk into a private shop to procure AR-15 type rifles in an emergency, with the owner's consent. For Alex, this remains the most brutal scene. A major municipal police force, in a city already marked by violent crime, forced to go knock on the door of a neighborhood gun dealer while hundreds of rounds crack through the street. The wall is there. The institution hasn't caught up with the curve. Armed crime has already integrated assault rifles, armor-piercing ammunition, advanced protection. Patrol forces, meanwhile, are still rolling with service pistols and vests designed to stop 9mm. Alex then follows the movement of the 2 men in the parking lot, in the adjacent streets. He reads how they fire on cars, on facades, sometimes towards civilians who find themselves trapped in their own morning commute. He sees how the pursuit transforms, first concentrated around the bank, then spread into the streets, then broken when the mechanics fail, the tires hit, the vehicle damaged. And on every page, the same feeling returns. It's not that the LAPD doesn't want to stop these 2 men. It's that between what they have on them and what they're facing, an entire level is missing. Alex understands that this void is not limited to North Hollywood. It reveals what was already happening in many cities. Criminals had climbed a step that patrol officers had not yet reached. When Alex reviews the analyses, he first notices one thing. Specialists agree that the North Hollywood shootout served as a national trigger to rearm patrol units, standardize patrol rifles, and reinforce protections. Some, more nuanced, observers nevertheless point out that this tactical adjustment mostly just shifted the problem. The gap between law enforcement and civilians widened, while access to powerful weapons remained largely open in many jurisdictions. What many experts avoid tackling head-on Alex senses between the lines. They fear that by acknowledging that two robbers forced the hand of an entire system, they might legitimize the idea that one can redraw a country's security landscape through brutality. Alex goes back to the beginning of the file. He rereads the first page as if it were a different text. Robbery gone wrong. This phrase now feels hollow to him. He goes back over it point by point. The choice of location, a branch well stocked with cash, at the intersection of busy thoroughfares, in a neighborhood where the police presence is real but standard. The perpetrators, two men already known for their obsessive interest in weapons, protection, preparation. They had already been stopped with a full heavy robbery kit. They had already committed other bank robberies with a similar modus operandi. The preparations, assault rifles, illegal conversions to full auto, ammunition capable of piercing soft vests, reinforced vests covering most vital areas, a prepared vehicle, radios tuned to police frequencies. Alex then understands what he had been telling himself without even realizing it before opening this file. He still believed in a sort of implicit equality, a comforting idea. When facing robbers, the police would be, roughly, equally armed. The outcome would then depend on tactics, composure, luck. North Hollywood wipes out this illusion with surgical precision. In the transcripts, Alex sees how things slip out of control as soon as the first shots are fired. The officers respond as they were trained, with what they have. They take cover behind their cars, fire from a distance with their Berettas, try to advance. Physical reality, however, is indifferent to bravery. The bullets strike the robbers' heavy vests and do not reach their vital organs. Conversely, each burst from the assault rifles cuts through metal panels, windows, light walls, and turns patrol cars into traps of shattered metal. The failure is not limited to two robbers dead on the asphalt. It lies in that moment when a major city discovers, live on television, that its municipal police do not have the tools to quickly end an urban confrontation against two determined individuals. Time stretches out. Alex reads the legacy in the following pages. After the shootout, the crime scene is dissected down to the smallest detail. The FBI analyzes the weapons, matches bullets with other robberies. The LAPD scrutinizes every trajectory, every radio decision. Larry Phillips's suicide is confirmed. Emil Mătăsăreanu's slow agony is recorded. Wounded in the legs, on the ground, surrounded by officers who wait for the area to be secured before authorizing medical access. Years later, this delay will fuel legal and media debates about what could or could not have saved him. For Alex, this is another shift. What had been sold in the files as a notable episode becomes an almost clinical case study. The institutional response focuses on weaponry, on training, on procedures. The introduction of semi-automatic rifles in patrol vehicles. Wider adoption of high-protection hard plates. Revision of intervention protocols for prolonged shootouts. In police academies, North Hollywood becomes an entire chapter in the manuals. But behind these adjustments, Alex senses another, less avowable effect. In public debates, the event is used as an argument in two opposing directions. On one side, to show the danger of assault rifles in the hands of criminals. On the other, to justify that law enforcement must at all times have a level of armament at least equivalent. And the solution that takes hold the fastest is not a massive reduction of these weapons on the street. It is a massive reinforcement of those in the trunks of patrol cars. Alex looks one last time at the final summary of the file. Date, location, duration, toll. 2 robbers dead, 9 officers injured, 3 civilians hit, none of them killed. Officially, the city held. The robbers did not survive. The bank reopened. The institution corrected its weaknesses. What collapses for him is this quiet belief he had carried since his early days. The idea that a failed robbery sets things right again. In this case, nothing really went back to normal. The weapons used that morning reshaped patrol equipment far beyond Los Angeles. The public image of urban shootouts changed, and 2 men, dead on the asphalt, left behind more than a pile of shell casings. A new standard, heavier, more tense, for what a standard intervention should be. Alex finally closes the North Hollywood file box and puts it away with the other cases selected for training. But one sentence sticks in his mind, stubbornly. If a robbery that goes so wrong can still impose its logic on an entire country, what will it take next time to break it? On Laurel Canyon Boulevard, cars drive slowly past the renovated bank branch. The bullet impacts have disappeared from the facades, replaced by a uniform plaster and clean windows. At the street corner, a uniformed police officer chats calmly, a black rifle discreetly hanging in the rack of his vehicle. In the drive-through line at the bank, a white Chevrolet inches forward, silent behind its tinted windows.